Mel,
Brandon,
good to see you.
good to see you.
Well, what has it been, like a year?
Yeah, it's been a long time. Been a long damn time.
We don't even look the same.
No, we do not.
You
No,
got
it's
thinner,
good
I
or
got
bad.
heavier. You got older, I got older.
Yeah, I wish I get smarter. Get older, but not any smarter. I don't get it. I think at my age, there'd be all kinds of intelligence rolling around up there.
Well, I'd like to say we haven't seen each other in a year, but we still see each other all the time. We just quit cutting podcasts. We
Yeah.
got wrapped up, and after
Life.
Trump got defeated,
Yeah, what's the
after
point?
the election got stolen,
Life was over.
I kind of lost the wind, to be honest with you. But man, I'm seeing enough stuff going back on. Me and Mel are like, we got to get back together.
No, we've had a lot of requests. A lot of people asking for it.
That's true too. Yeah, we have, and
Shows you the mental capacity of Ark City.
Well,
they wouldn't listen to us.
that's a good point. But I feel like there for a while we had quite the roll going and
Yeah.
making some good changes in
Yeah.
Cali County and Ark City, and
Yeah, I think we did
give-
affect some changes. Absolutely.
giving some people some hope,
Yeah.
something to look forward to, and knowing that somebody's looking out for them. So
Yeah.
we're back, baby. That's all I can tell you.
With a vengeance. Actually not a vengeance.
Hell, I'm so out of touch with Ark City politics right now. I don't
I hear
really know
you.
what to focus on,
hear
other
you.
than there's plenty going on, and we need to get back to paying attention.
Yeah, I think what the latest hot button issues, according to what I hear about is the property tax issues.
Yeah,
Mill levy.
I'm working on the mill levy increase. Kenyon, I had a great conversation with her. She just really wants to. She wants to raise it, and I'm just like, God dang it! No more than you're going to raise it. It's just not adding a lot of value, and our heart's in the right place. I just don't see this one. I normally agree with her on most topics, and
Was there a dollar amount associated with this increase?
it'll end up being it's a fairly small amount increase, but that's my point. Why take a black eye for such a small increase? And beyond that, if you're going to raise taxes in Ark City, let's go for a sales tax versus a property tax, because
Yeah, something you vote on.
we got all these. Yeah, not only one, you got to vote on it, but also
Everybody's paying.
everybody.
Everybody's paying.
It's a consumption tax at that point,
Yep.
and
Yep, a use tax versus an ownership tax.
Yep, exactly. And
Yep.
I know it may be hard. Not all businesses have done well over the last 18 months. In fact, most of them have not, unless you're in a retail business. But even those folks, they are struggling to get employees and can't keep things together. And Mel, I think people are tired of taxes. They need a damn break.
Well, then you're looking for bang for the buck. What changed? You want more money? Well, what's going to be different? Same. Nothing really changes.
And I've only watched the commission meetings online, but it appears that, Dwayne and Karen and Canyon were the three that were wanting to do this mill levy increase, and they'll have three different ideas on what they're going to spend the money on. So when you split that little bit of money in three different directions, it ain't going to go anywhere.
No,
It's going to be about like the brick street repairs.
Oh yeah. It was $750,000. Not a brick was changed, and that's that gets to be bullshit after a while. Where hey, we talk about these improvements, but they never change. It's just talk.
Yep.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody about the franchise taxes on the utility purveyors, and that and they said, "What's a pass-through?" What's a pass-through? It's a pass-through. The taxpayer is paying money into the general coffers. Just make it a tax. Quit trying to hide it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what that is. And those franchise taxes generate a ton of money for the city. I mean, they really do.
Yes, they do.
And they should
They
be.
do.
That's just another element of extortion on the ratepayer.
Yeah, and I don't mind paying it so much, but let's don't bullshit anybody on what it is or how it gets there. The vehicle is from the taxpayer's pocket to the city coffer. There's not, well, you're getting a break. It's a pass through from the purveyor. Well, it's baloney. It's not.
And I don't know. That's what everybody always says. Well, where are you going to cut from? And I printed out that budget book. I should have brought it with me, but it's 260 some pages of where our money's spent in the city, and it's an annual report. The finance team puts it together, and it's very well done. It's very transparent. It's just a ton of information to indulge, and you got to be able to be willing to spend the time, which we haven't been. But we're going to have to get back in the saddle and start digging into that information.
We used to compile all that stuff, but yeah, we get it back in the saddle. It'll take a little while.
And the other thing on that, and just in my short conversations with some of these commissioners, I'm like, they're like, well, what can we cut? Fire and police is already getting a sales tax. The hospital is already getting a sales tax. Maybe we don't buy a new police car, and I don't know what their intervals are, or the fire trucks, but you buy a new police car at 100,000 miles. Well, maybe we stretch that to 120 like everybody else does. I mean, the last used car I bought had 130,000 miles on it.
I've bought many with over 200,000 on them and drove them for years.
Yeah.
But I am of the opinion that get a target amount to each department.
We're going to get this air conditioner fixed. I'm in here sweating under these.
They just did, sir. I just turned it on.
Oh, yeah, it's getting warm.
Well, I have an air conditioning company, so don't blame it on the damn air conditioner. It makes me look bad.
All right, I'm just hot-blooded.
Yeah, that's what it is. There's nothing wrong with damn air conditioner. Jesus. But I'm of the opinion that let the departments figure out what they can do on their budget. Give it to them. If they can't figure out, then say, hey, we'll figure it out for you. But give them the opportunity, each department the opportunity. Said, look, we can do this, this, and give them some incentive. Like your job's riding on this.
Well, and I don't even know where this rate increase came from. This mill levy increase, was that, and that's just how out of connected I am on this. Was that pushed down from the city manager saying
shortfall of general fund?
Well, was city manager just saying this is what we got to have, or if we don't want to lose any services, this is what we got to have?
Yeah,
I don't know, but
and of course the first thing they say, and that's one of the bad things about it. First they said, well, then your house is going to burn down, and there's going to be a big crime wave, because it's always like, we're going to cut services. That means no fire protection, no police protection. That's always the first thing they say. That's very disingenuous, because that's not what happens.
That's not what happens. And also on the property tax deal, I do want to reiterate the fact, and I've expressed this to some of the commissioners that's taken my calls or I've spoken with, but it's not like it's been flat year over year. So the way this works is, your property that you own, your home, your business, whatever, it has an evaluation. And your property taxes, a good portion of it goes to Cali College, USD 470, the county, the city, and that's it, right? I don't think anything goes directly to the state.
Oh, yeah, no, the state, they get their cut.
State gets their cut.
4.5%.
Okay, so out of your portion, the reason it hasn't been flat for the city, even though they say, well, we haven't raised taxes in this long, but your property value, like everybody else's, is constantly climbed a little bit year over year. And maybe not yours bumps up every year, maybe yours bumps up every 3 years, but somebody's is bumping every year. So if you go back and look at the history over the last 5 years, they've had a
pretty good run.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4% year over year increase in their tax mill levy that they're collecting.
My house have doubled in 20 years.
Oh, I'm sure.
So that's 50% every 10 years. So that's 5% a year.
Yep.
And that's a substantial amount of money.
Yep. And beyond that, I mean, anybody that's been paying attention at all, everybody knows that houses right now are a commodity. It is a seller's market. So things are selling extremely high. Used cars are selling extremely high, and so there's been a lot of turnover in homes, which changes the valuation of these places. And I'd love to get a realtor on here to talk about this, or a house assessor, building appraisal type person. But the thing is, Mel, is that, I mean, we may see a blip in our 2022 taxes coming up, because everything's sold so high right now. You're gonna have all these comps that now, boom, everything's shot up, and it may take a little dip come 23 when everything falls, but you never know.
Yeah, I imagine the bubble will burst.
Be like the 2007, 2008 housing bubble.
It has. I mean, it's pretty cyclic. It happens all the time. I remember when I was living in Tulsa, the oil crunch hit and the housing bubble burst, and all of a sudden you could buy a mansion for $1 down and just pick up the payments.
That was back in the 80s?
That was back in the 80s, yep. But the payments were so high, nobody could afford anything, so everybody's left. In fact, there was 5,000 abandoned homes in Tulsa when I left.
Mel and I went to a shooting match one time down in South Texas, San Angelo, Texas, actually, and we took kind of these back roads, and we went through this little ghost town, and it was literally an old oil field town that and of course, news to me, I was born in the 80s, but it was just like everybody picked up and left. I mean, there's old vehicles, houses, everything's completely abandoned, except for they left all their shit behind.
And then you go to a place like Anthony, Kansas. They've got 2 big hotels that are brand new that are empty.
Really?
Because they were expecting this big, you know, that's when we start talking about energy is king.
Yeah.
You know, what it brings to society. And we talk about sales tax, and you go so many directions, but you know, on property tax, I painted my house, put up a fence, and they're going to raise my property. I put a roof on it, painted it, and put a fence up.
Because you maintained it.
Saved my money, maintained it, and that will make my property tax. So I'm going to fight them and say, you know, taking care of my house doesn't give you the right to add value to it that I may or may not get, because you've got it inflated. Now, if there's a bubble, if the bubble bursts, all of a sudden it's worth less money. You appraise it. Do I get the money back? Well, no. Of course you do not.
Of course you don't.
But this whole concept of riding on the backs of property owners, there has to be a point of saturation, and you know, especially I feel sorry for the landlords. You know, of course, a lot of landlords are dumping their properties.
Yeah.
So hard to collect, and you know,
And now with this COVID deal, you can't even evict them.
no eviction.
These tenants got more rights than the owners.
Did they extend that?
I think they did, Mel.
Yeah, I know of a house right now that's went into foreclosure a long time ago, and didn't have to leave. They couldn't make them leave. There was no way they could get them out. They finally left on their own, but very bizarre.
So just kind of refresh our audience, Mel. So on the city commission, you got 5 folks. You got Scotty Rogers, which I believe he's the mayor at the moment. You got Kenny Ginger, which I believe she's the vice mayor. Then you got Dwayne Eastman. You got Jay Warren, and then you got Karen Beard Welch. So those 5 people, if you don't want your property taxes to go up, just simply send them a note, give them a phone call, tell them you can't afford it. And
I'm always for torches and pitchforks, personally.
well, that does work. I mean, but yeah, just a phone call would probably do it.
And eventually, you know, to take back our economy, or what we all know in our hearts is right, it might have to get drastic or draconian. I mean, I don't see a peaceful end to a lot of this stuff as the economy just absolutely falls apart in front of us. And should we, God forbid, go into hyperinflation because they keep printing money, we're in big trouble. And because somebody has to pay for everything, somebody has to. And if we go into hyperinflation, there's no recovery. When the dollar bill loses its value, then you don't recover. I had a $5 million South African, it was a Krugerrand, or a, gosh darn, I can't really call it, South African note that wasn't worth anything. It was completely valueless. It had no value. And it's worth $5 million, whatever they're dollars or Krugerrand, so I can't remember. In fact, there was tip jar had some money in there that was valueless. You know, $100 notes that were just of no value. Hyperinflation.
Yeah. So some of the things that have happened in the last year, really. I mean, we kind of slowed down the splash pad. That hadn't really been on the horizon, right, Mel?
Yeah, I think they put the kibosh on that because of the it was so many money. The town's out of money. The town's broke. I mean, I think our debt to income ratio was like 1 to 1.
I don't know.
It was pretty bad.
Hospital seems to be doing well.
I hadn't heard, the last I heard, the COVID deal, they were struggling with the COVID deal and trying to, every case that went in there was COVID because they made money on the only income source they had.
I think every hospital did that.
And that's fine, whatever the rules say.
Hopefully it created a windfall for them where they can actually bounce back and maybe not collect that sales tax forever. So
yeah, I think we'll be saddled with that for a while. But that's just part of civilization. Part of having a hospital is a cost. There's a cost involved. Everything you do has a cost.
Let's see what else been
free.
good. Got a new car dealership in town. Zeller's bought out Reedy's.
Oh yeah,
A lot more cars on the lot, so that should help with the sales tax. The more cars they sell, the better for the sales tax revenue.
Absolutely.
And they've got a lot more vehicles out there, so that's good. That should generate some revenue.
That is good. The amount of rental properties, I think, has increased. The amount of
home ownership's gone down.
Home ownership's gone down. Our per capita income is still towards the bottom. Our taxing rates are still towards the top. We got a lot of stuff that's ass backwards, and something's got to give. I mean, we can't just keep going this direction.
What do you think? We got an election coming up. That's the other reason we had to get back together. We got city election. We got school board stuff. We've got college trustees. We've got election topics coming up, and that's going to be hit pretty quick.
Yeah.
Because we're going to have a primary probably next month, right?
Whether there 3 candidates or 5 candidates, 5 candidates to 3 slots. Is that what it is?
I don't
I don't
remember.
know either. I'm just guessing. I think that's what I heard.
I printed them off at one point, but it's been a while. It was back in April. But no, guys, welcome back. We appreciate having you.
Yeah. Let's talk about anything. Just ask.
Yeah, just send us a note.
I'm sure we'll ignore you.
Yeah.
But you can try.
You
can try. If it's something juicy, damn sure consider it. And there is plenty of news to talk about, but that's not really our deal. We can talk about Afghanistan.
Oh God.
What insanity is that?
That happened.
Bam.
I mean, how it was almost like they planned it.
I don't know what to say when you pull all your troops. There's 10,000 Americans still there, and they pull all the troops out. I mean, the insanity is just like, what the hell?
Them people clinging to the side of that aircraft.
That's how desperate they are.
With the idea that they could hang on. It was
that or face death either way. They're dying either way.
It's crazy.
Die by torture or die by fall. And the remote chance that the airplane would throttle down and before it took off and let them come in is what they were hoping for, I'm sure. But they had no choice. I mean, it was either that or you're going to die anyway.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it really is unbelievable. It's just sad. And then the domino effect, we're already, China's starting to roll in there and take stuff over. They're already threatening Taiwan. And they're moving into Afghanistan as we speak and picking up all the, Afghanistan is full of precious metal, raw material. Lithium.
Probably lots of lithium, which is going to be
copper.
Which lithium is probably going to be one of the largest mineable items in the near future, especially with the push to go to electric vehicles and all the EV stuff out there.
I'm not an electric vehicle fan, but boy, you can't deny what they can do.
Oh, they're pretty capable.
Oh my gosh, they're really
even the lithium batteries, like in our, all our equipment's it lasts forever. It's really good.
Yeah, it was everything we use is battery powered. I don't know if it's good or bad because you watch them, you see videos of the lithium mines, how big they are, them trying to dispose of lithium batteries. Kind of like the windmill blades.
Yeah, yeah.
You've seen the pictures of disposing of windmill blades.
They need to build the wall out of windmill blades.
Oh, that's a good idea. That's a great idea. They certainly have enough of them.
And it'd be hard to climb one of those.
Oh my God, and it'd look cool.
It'd look great.
Wow, and then they would be worth something.
That's the other thing we gotta get back on, is building that damn wall.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. So, guys, we gotta go. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Glad to have us.
Yep.
Mel?
Bye.